Hello, everybody. Hebrew77 here. Welcome to the show. Snappy introduction. And I'm standing by with Sagittarically speaking. Well, I'm not standing by. I'm sitting by. Sagittarically speaking, how you doing tonight, brother?
I am doing quite well, thank you. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Just chilling out. It's been a fancy night. Been storming a little bit here and there, but plenty of sunshine. How about your way?
Same here. We got some storms rolling in right about now.
Tell you, you know, I like doing this broadcast on a Sunday.
Yeah. I think God's Armor said he's going to be here shortly, but we went ahead and decided to get started so we could stay on time.
And on topic.
And on topic, yes. Whatever that topic may be, we're going to be on it.
You ever played Majora's Mask?
No, it sounds like, is it a video game?
Yeah, The Legend of Zelda.
I played the original Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, but not Majora's Mask.
I thought that was the Ocarina of Time, huh?
Yeah, the one that I can't pronounce, neither can you, that one, yeah.
Yeah. But the Majora's Mask was the follow-up to that bit, to the Ocarina. Ocarina? Is it Ocarina?
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, Majora's.
I would say ask the chat room, but I doubt anybody's quite made it in there yet.
No one's made it in there yet, I don't think.
Plus, all they could do was spell it. They couldn't pronounce it for us.
Right. They can't come on here.
They could do the phonetics, I guess.
Well,
are you hooked on phonetics?
I'm not fanatics.
Phonics, phonetics, whatever.
Oh yeah, I get you. Gotcha. But yeah, it's a follow up to that game, and it's pretty awesome because you got to collect all these different masks, and you got to run around solving puzzles and stuff like that. And you get the Ocarina or Orkiana or you get the musical flute thingy.
Okay. The recorder.
Yes, we'll just call it that.
Did you ever play a recorder in grade school or high school or whatever?
No, but I did have a tape recorder once.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They actually required it when it was a requirement that you had to learn how to play it at the age, like at the time when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah. Not that I ever got any good at it, but I could play I don't know, like Mary Had a Little Lamb and Yankee Doodle Dandy, shit like that.
I was just gonna say Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but
basic three note songs that you basically play the same three notes in 5 different ways.
I could play the thing that you hum into. What's that called?
Like in a wedding?
No, the thing you hum into, the
Okay.
Kazoo.
Oh, kazoo. Oh, you could play a kazoo?
Oh yeah.
All right. How about a harmonica? You ever try the harmonica?
I've never been to prison.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard Dan's really good at the harmonica. Like he learned it in one day.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. So when are you going to start doing those Mandela family videos again, Sagittarically speaking?
I mean, I should bounce that question right back off onto you. People have been waiting, anticipating for oh so long.
That's right. I'm the one that does those. I forgot.
Yeah, but check out my YouTube TV guide, and it hasn't showed up on there yet.
YouTube TV guide. that should be a thing. Why haven't they made that a thing? That would be awesome.
I've been looking for it on the fall lineup.
Put crossword puzzles and interviews. You're like, what is a Mandela effect? 5-letter word for Mandela effect.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. I got it. It is Reeves.
Ah, yeah, there you go. Where did my phone go? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, the case of the missing phone?
I think it's the same guy that took what's his name's cups.
Huh.
Who's that? Davy?
Davey.
Yeah, Davy. His cups went missing? Or his keys? Was it his keys?
Sure, I don't know.
Well, anyway, it was the same ferry that took his keys.
Well, did you find it? Do you have to call it real quick?
I have to try to find the ferries that took it first. The hell bug is that? Oh, it's a spider. Is it wise to kill a spider, by the way, with your bare hands?
Depending on what kind of spider it is, I guess.
I mean, could they not just bite you through your skin?
Yeah, I guess they could.
Oh, I found that the fairies brought it back. Here it is.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now let's see who's in chat so we can shout them out. I think I just got a staple in my toe. Let's see. You go ahead and talk. I'm trying to get chat up.
Yeah, go ahead. When you get a second, I'm putting a link in our Shifty Sunday Hangouts. I wanted you to see this Mark Hamill lookalike. He showed up at the Comic-Con this year, and people were getting their picture taken with him, and they actually thought it was the real Mark Hamill.
You know, you could be the Mark Hamill sound-alike.
I heard that you mentioned that before.
Yeah,
I have to, especially when I get in like my high-pitched voice, right?
Oh yeah. You know, you could be the Mark Hamill. Oh.
Hey, it worked. You're in.
Right? Uh-oh. We got 5 watching, but there's only 1 chatting.
Okay. Well, you're one of the 5, so technically we probably have 4.
That's true. That's true. That's very, very true. But have you checked the news today?
No, are we at war?
Not so to speak of, but actually, I was going to bring up the Area 51 thing. Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to save that for our new show?
I mean, we could touch on it, but I don't want to go in depth. I want to wait till tomorrow night to talk about it in depthly, because I'm going to do a little more. I'm going to look up some more information on it.
Okay.
And I also have I've started a collection of memes. The memes are out of control on Twitter and Facebook about that. I'm sure you must have seen at least 1 or 2 of them.
Oh, I can imagine. There is some movie, or not movie, but television news I wanted to talk to you about. Have you heard about the new Picard series that's going to be coming out?
Well, of course, and I saw the new trailer last night, and it looked really interesting.
Yeah, could you believe that?
Yeah, they finally showed just more than just Picard's face, so it looks. Who is that comes to find him? You know Star Trek characters better than I do. That female that comes to find him.
Oh, well, that was 7 to 9.
Okay, and who is she?
7 to 9?
Yeah.
Oh, you never watched any of the other Star Trek shows then?
I watched the one that had Picard on it, but I don't remember her.
No, she was in. Damn it! I keep wanting to say Deep Space Nine, but that's not right.
Frontier?
Voyager, yes.
Voyager, okay.
She was in Voyager. 7 of 9. Oh man, do you know? Have you ever seen 7 of 9?
I don't think I watched Voyager.
I'll have to send you a picture of what she looked like way back when.
Is it the same actress though, or is it somebody else playing her?
I think it's the same person.
Okay, just more grown up.
Right, but you would think they would have aged. Well, here, let me show you a picture of 7 of 9.
Now you keep saying like 7 of 9.
7 of 9, yeah.
Okay, like
Okay.
those are her odds of survival.
Well, no, if you're not familiar with the character, um, basically she used to be a Borg that was.
Why was she so boring?
Huh?
Why was she so boring? What was boring about her?
She wasn't boring.
You said she was a bore?
I said she was a Borg.
Oh, a Borg. My bad. Okay.
Very funny.
But now she's a lot more interesting, you must admit.
Sure.
Yeah.
But no, she was a Borg that had been brought back, and she was human. She was human part. Well, of course she was human. I guess. But here, let me show you a picture of her real quick. 7 of 9. See, it comes right up in my Google search without even. I'll send it to our Hangouts.
Oh yeah, I could type too. You know.
Well,
See,
yeah. Right. I'm doing some special research here that no one else can do. Right. Well, then look it up. I was just trying to give you the.
Okay. Oh, I remember her now. She's got the Mike Tyson face tattoo.
Right. See, I was just trying to save you the trouble of typing stuff.
I see.
No, it's a special skill.
Oh wow, she's kind of well endowed as well too.
Yeah. I wasn't going to mention that, but now that you mentioned it, yeah.
Like if she had babies, they would not starve.
Right. For sure.
But she's got a nice outfit. I like the color. It's like silver-esque. So is that a younger version of her then in the Picard series?
Hold on, that's what I'm trying to read. I think it's the same person.
But she looks like she's in her. She looks younger in the trailer. She looks like she's only in her 20s.
In her 20s?
Like 21, 22.
No, can't be. Maybe she has one of those anti-aging creams or something.
Right.
That's like far advanced because it's in the future. I don't know.
Okay, now I'm looking at images. It's just her hair is different. She's got long hair.
Right.
No, it's a totally different actress, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got black hair, and she looks more like Eurocentric.
Okay, I got
a little less Viking-esque.
But now wait a minute. This says Jerry Ryan. Now that's the same one.
Okay, well maybe they just gave her a makeover.
Wait a minute. Wait, you might be. It can't be the same one because she looks too young.
That's what I'm saying.
The one that was the Jerry Ryan, she was.
We should put a picture on the. You should screen share.
Nah, everybody knows who she is.
All right, you say so.
Everybody who watches our show.
I mean, we should be sitting here talking about it and not showing them what we're talking about.
Should we talk about the big surprise, the big reveal that was in the trailer? For anyone that hasn't seen the trailer?
Well, I don't remember what the big reveal is.
The big reveal is that there's Data's coming back.
Oh, okay. Well, look at the picture I shared in Shifty Sunday.
Okay, hang on. Let me get it. Shifty Sunday. That would be. Hang on. I got to click it on here on the computer. Computer, man. Oh wow. Yeah, I see now. That was in the trailer though.
But that's not the same actress.
That's not Seven of Nine though that he's
Oh,
talking.
that's the girl that showed up asking for help, though.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about the whole time.
No, no, no. That's not Seven of Nine.
Okay.
No, Seven of Nine has that metal plate over her face.
Okay, so we're talking about two different people.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, we're both right.
Right. Yeah, you're right about what you're talking about, and I'm right about what I'm talking about, except we're talking about two different, completely different things at the same time.
Right. I thought you knew I was talking about the person that was asking for help.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Okay.
I'm sorry, dude.
Well, who is she? What? That's my original question. Who is she in the Star Trek series?
She's a totally new character.
Oh, okay.
Totally new character that I have no idea. If she is who I think she is, though, she could be Data's daughter.
Okay, that's a good theory. We're going to have to definitely keep an eye on this, and we'll definitely follow this.
He had a daughter that was deactivated because there's something that happened to her where her. Oh,
I remember what it was. She was Mandela affected.
Could be.
Yeah, that's got to be what it was.
That's got to be it.
And now she realizes that she's in this new reality, the Picard reality.
Right, and then the new where he has a crystal now.
Yep.
I'm surprised Eddie Von Keen hasn't joined us.
Oh well, he might be busy watching something or doing something.
Yeah, I can't give a shout out. There's nobody in the room, right?
Yeah, shout out to everybody that's out doing things besides watching our show.
Oh, okay. Right. Now,
Who would you like to shout out?
let's see here. Oh, there's people in the room. Okay.
Okay.
I know, man. That's awesome. So, quick shout out. Honey Ann is in the room, and Michelle's Opinions is watching as well.
All right.
And also, I failed to mention this, but well, I don't. My wife is watching.
All right. Well, that's a scary combination.
Yep. Oh,
You could get in some hot water.
oh yeah. I better watch my P's and Q's now. I can't be talking about her now that she's watching.
Well, that's awesome.
That changes the whole formula of the show, though.
Yeah, now you're all nervous and everything.
Right.
All right. So, what were you going to say?
I said now we can't talk about her like we usually do.
Oh yeah, we'll just talk about her in a totally different way.
Right. No, but honestly though, it looks like it's going to be good because
Yeah, it does. I'm excited about it. A lot of people don't like the new Discovery, but I've been actually watching that, and it started off kind of good, but then it took a nosedive about halfway through, and apparently they're being sued about this giant blue Terragrade or whatever it is that they use in the show. Apparently there was a guy in India or something that had created a video game on Steam and used the giant blue Terragrade as a way for them to cross the multiverse. And I guess the writers for the show decided to go ahead and steal that concept and put it in the show. Not only did they do that, but they took the likeness of like 4 characters from the video game and put them in the show as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So they're going through a whole lawsuit where they're basically going to end up having to pay this guy like a whole lot of money because they basically ripped him off his whole concept. And I don't understand why they used why they used it, thinking they wouldn't ripped it off to that degree, thinking they wouldn't have to. It's like the people they hired to do the show were total amateurs.
I would agree with that. Also, you know what I can't get past? I can't get past the name.
Discovery.
No, the whole name. Think about it. What are the initials of the show? Star
Oh, okay.
Star Trek Discovery.
STD.
Yeah, STD.
Okay,
That's what a lot of people say has been injected into the Star Trek series.
I see.
It's the STD of the entire franchise.
Yeah, I've been watching a channel called Nerdtronic or something like that, and he goes into in depth about it. I don't know if you've ever seen that channel on YouTube.
I think I might have. Have you ever seen the channel Mecha Random?
Random who?
Mecha Random. That's the whole name. Mecha Random with,
No.
with a bunch of numbers behind it, but I don't know what all the numbers are.
All right, no, I don't know that one.
Basically, she rants about social justice warriors and all that stuff, saying how they're taking over television and movies and they're trying to inject it into Star Trek and Star Wars in a
It
way.
doesn't really seem like everything's so unoriginal anymore and so watered down compared to what it used to be. Like I'd rather watch an old original Star Trek with Captain Kirk more than I'd like to see anything that's came out in the last 3 years. To be honest with you.
But I tell you what, if this Picard series is as good as the trailers are making it out to be, I'll definitely be up for it. However, I don't have what's it coming on CBS Prime or
Yeah, CBS All Access.
yeah, I don't have that.
Well, it's like every channel nowadays has their own version. It's like their own little Netflix online. So for like a really small fee, like $2.99 a month, $4.99 a month, whatever, you can get all of their content. And I think that's what they're trying to do with it. They're trying to build something to get people to subscribe to their little mini Netflix channel.
Now, in the original, the very first teaser trailer they ever came out with, they were suggesting that Jonathan Frakes was going to be part of the Picard series in some capacity.
He was, and who was he again?
Commander Riker.
Yeah, that's who I thought, but I didn't want to sound stupid.
Yeah. But yeah, and that would be really kind of interesting to see him come back.
Right. I think I told you this before. It seems like the theme of so many shows now, when you have an older male actor, is to do this whole Rambo-esque type thing where somebody comes to take him out of retirement. You know, you like John Wick. You know, was in retirement, and someone had to come along and steal his car and kill his dog, so he had to come back out of retirement. You have Picard here. I mean, it just seems like that's like the new theme is everybody just kind of rips that concept off. Like he's found peace and harmony in his Zen new Zen lifestyle, but now we're going to have to send an operative to go get him and bring him back.
It's like they come to him at first. They're like, "Hey, we got this thing that we want you to do," and at first he's like, "No,
No, absolutely not."
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking Wolverine. Didn't they do that with Wolverine too? And Tony Stark in Endgame. I mean,
I can't remember what they did with. Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're right. It's like they try to bring him back into it, and at first he's like, "No, I found my new life now. I have nothing to do with that anymore. I don't want anything to do with it." Next couple of scenes later, okay, let's go. Where are they at?
it definitely does. That's what they did with Tony Stark.
Yeah, because
in the new Avengers, he had found his house. He had a kid.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's like, no, I don't want to do it. And then they're like, well, we're trying to do time travel and all this. And then as soon as they start working on it and they fail the first time, he comes back and says, I told you. Now here's how we got to do it. That's what sucks him back in is like he works on it, even though he told him no. He starts
Right.
working on it in secret. Spoiler alert. By the way, we got to say spoiler alert.
Well, you know what? Maybe that's how your adventurous life always begins, starting now in this new reality. I'm gonna just wait for someone to show up at the door and tell me I have to go back out there and start adventuring again.
That's how you should mow the lawn.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
like, like you mow half the lawn and then stop and you're like, no, it's too. I can't do this no more. I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm done.
Yep.
Like somebody
Throw
comes
my hat
along.
down and start heading toward the house, hoping some FBI truck will show up and tell me the president needs me for an important mission.
Right. Oh man. But yeah, that's how it works out. Did I tell you about my toe earlier?
Oh no, we've digressed to toe talk.
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna bring up the toe. Yeah.
Okay, well let's do it.
Yeah, because you know how like when you're clipping your toenails, right? And
Uh-huh.
you don't quite get them clipped all the way through. It's like you get one half clipped, and then the other half is just kind of sitting there, and you're like, oh, I can't get to it; it's too thick. And
Right?
then you try to clip it, and then by the time you clip that end, the other end is now uneven.
I'm
So,
imagining I'm imagining your wife in the chat room right now singing, "Oh Lord, he's talking about his toes."
yep. She's probably done clicked off and went to watch some other noteworthy YouTube video. But no, man, I'm telling you. And then you clip your toenail, and then like part of the toenail digs into the skin, and then you like, oh, just forget it. I'm tired of messing with this, and you don't want to really do anything because you know you're going to rip the whole toenail off. And
Right?
then,
And I hate to tell you this, but it's days before that goes away. I mean, usually when you get something like that,
oh
you
no,
have to. It's going to be like a week before it starts to feel better.
you got to be kidding me.
It could go that long.
Well, I'll tell you what, it hurts when you put your sock on. You're walking around, not the sock, but like when you put your shoes
The
on.
pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any kind of pressure you put on it, and you're like, it doesn't hurt bad, but it's just like nagging pain. It's like, forget it. Taking my socks off and wearing flip flops the rest of the day.
Right.
But I got a problem with that.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Do
You
you
have
know
to take it up with the tow committee.
the toe committee?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big toe. I got to take it up with the big toe. Toey. I don't know. I was going somewhere with that and I lost it. I said Toey Bungoli or something. I don't know.
If it rhymes, it works. If it rhymes, as long
Right.
as it rhymes.
As long as it always works if it rhymes. As long as it's not something gross like I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you were probably going to try to get something like to repair your house, would you go to Home Depot or would you go to the Home Depot?
It's funny you should say that because, and I know you're talking about a Mandela effect now,
Right?
but there was when we went on vacation, when the wife and I went on vacation, um, we went to the Home Depot, and I've got it on video where the sign does say the Home Depot, but in my hometown, the Home Depot that we have here just says Home Depot.
I see. So which one would you go to? Probably you'd stay local and go to Home Depot. You wouldn't
Just
travel all the way to the other reality.
right.
Uh,
No, it'd be Home Depot.
Now, wouldn't that be nice if you could choose which reality one you wanted to go to? Like today, I want to watch the magic mirror on the wall, Snow White. No, no, I'm more in the mood for the mirror, mirror on the wall version. Or I'd like to see the original. Life is like a box of chocolates.
I
Tom
tell you
Hanks.
what, I tell you what, I think in a way we do kind of make our own reality.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to, you could. I mean, just say it out loud and overpower him when he says it wrong.
What's strange about that is there's been words that I've said those words, and I'm sure you have too, said it the way we all remember how they're said, and we say it without even really thinking about it, just kind of say it that way. Like, for an example, I don't know about you, but for me, when I always, there was one that I always say that's, uh, I'll let you
Well, here, let
talk
me give
about
you
it.
an example. Like the other night when I was listening to Dan's channel, and Vivian called in, and she was talking about the now and laters.
Mm-hmm.
She, Noble was asking her. He was saying, "Are you saying now and later, or now and laters?" Like trying to get her to like she was talking about with or without the S, but she couldn't hear that part that she was saying now and later's. She didn't even realize she was saying the S, and
Mm-hmm.
that he was trying to get clarification about the S. She kept trying to over like make sure that he understood the and it's not even an and, it's just the letter N. It's the N later. So like there was so much confusion going on because she was hearing like the way she even if she was saying it with the S as she was saying and he was hearing it without the S sometimes, and he wasn't picking up that it was an N. And that's kind of like what happens is like when you're in that glitch, or when you're saying it, the person that's from the other reality don't even hear the correct thing you're trying to say because they're hearing it the incorrect way, even when you're saying it the right way. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's what I was trying, and what I come up with is when I say Jif peanut butter, I just
Yeah.
say it like that, just like that, Jif peanut butter. I've never said it Jiffy peanut. I've never said that, and it
Right, but the
doesn't.
person at the store, like if you ask for it, they're going to hear you say Jiffy because that's how they remember it. Even if you say it the correct way or the incorrect way, whatever way their reality is, it like transcends somehow and from through the process of communication. That seems to be the way it is.
Sure.
Like they don't even pick up. And I think it only works. It works when you have a Mandela affected person trying to talk to an un-Mandela affected person. Like that, like the gap doesn't bridge for some reason.
And that's weird that you would bring that up, because it's kind of like you say when you look at the clock, for example, and you say someone, see, it's 13 after 6 or whatever, and they say no, it's 6:13. That's not the Mandela effect, but I'm just saying how people say things differently than what we do anyway. That's not even putting the Mandela effect in the equation,
No, no, not at all.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's not really a case of like slang or anything like that. It's just a matter of the way you hear something. No matter whatever your conscious reality is, and the way it's set in your conscious reality, that's what you hear, no matter how it is actually presented to you. Somehow, your conscious reality changes it to your conscious reality for you before it arrives, before the information gets in there. So, like, I could be saying Christopher Reeve all day long, but if you know him as Christopher Reeves, you're still going to hear me with adding the S.
See, I've always said Christopher Reeves.
Right, but that's what I mean. But do you understand what I'm saying? It's not about whether you say it this way or that way. You're going to hear it
All right,
the way that you've always said it, no matter how I say it.
but it kind of rolls off the tongue, some of the
Well,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. Sally Fields. I mean, who says Sally Field?
Nobody.
That just right. But if your reality is Sally Field, when I say, "Have you seen that new Sally Fields movie?" I think you hear me say the Sally Fields, but the person that's not Mandela affected will not hear the S. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you get what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was reading chat there for a second.
Are they? What is chat? Do they get it, or what's their take on all that?
Nobody's really saying anything about what we're talking about, but
Okay.
um, I totally agree with you, man. And it's like Sally Fields. I almost caught myself the other day. I said Sally Field. I actually said Sally Field.
But that's not my point. I mean, it's not about whether it's Sally Fields or Sally Field. That's not the point of what I'm trying to say. The point of what I'm trying to say is if you're not Mandela affected, you won't even pick up on the fact that the person is saying it a different way.
Oh no,
You'll just be stuck in your own conscious reality of whatever it is. I could say Sally Fields is a bajoo, and you just hear Sally Fields.
oh, that's what I was gonna. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Now go ahead.
I got a text message from my wife saying my flip flop broke, and that's weird because that's exactly what I was gonna tell you a while ago when I was talking about the toes.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say that one of my flip flops has got like a big hole in it at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the knob attaches to the hole, like in the flip flop, where
So
it's
your flip flop flips, but it doesn't flop.
right. It's just
Okay.
I can't wear it because that hole now has become so cracked that it comes out the string, not string, but the strap
Uh huh.
comes right up out of there when I'm walking, and sometimes it'll flip completely over. No pun intended, but
It'll flip, but it won't flop. Is what you're saying.
it'll flip and it might flop me over if I walk on it wrong. but I didn't want to interrupt you, but that or change the
Oh, okay.
subject.
Yeah.
But
You know,
that's weird
try
how
taking a really big rubber band and put it on the bottom of the thing after you put it through the ripped hole and see if that keeps it from going through the hole.
or I could just buy another pair of flip flops that are only like $2.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's true too.
Oh boy, what are we talking about here?
I don't know. I think I've pretty much ran that topic in the ground. What I was trying, the point I was trying to make. It just seems like when you're trying to point out a Mandela effect to somebody who's not Mandela affected, they can't even hear you trying to express the change to them. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes, like if I'm talking to somebody and trying to explain a Mandela effect about, let's say the Ed McMahon one, about how he's not in Publishers Clearinghouse, they go, "Oh well, maybe it was just a different one." They, it's like I know it was Publishers Clearinghouse, but maybe it was just different. They just like it's just like it was just I don't know. Maybe it's just It's like it's just no matter what you do, you could put up a big billboard and have a megaphone and a stage production and a charts and graphs for them, and they still wouldn't understand what you're trying to say. It just seems that way sometimes.
Can I read to you? Do you have the chat?
I can bring it up.
Well, no, Noble SD brought up a point of what you were saying earlier about Vivian, the conversation that him and her were having.
Yeah,
He was talking about. He was pointing out she was saying it with an S
exactly.
sometimes and without sometimes.
Exactly. But she wasn't trying to, she couldn't understand. She didn't get, like, I think as many times as he asked her, she still never caught the question. Like, no matter, like, I don't think she ever got caught on to what he was trying to ask her the whole time.
Yeah. See, I didn't even hear that part. My phone was dying at that time, and I didn't have my computer. I have it over here at this place where I'm at now, and so I'm like, sorry guys, I got to go to bed. That was the other thing. I was getting real tired, so I probably didn't even hear that part. How late was that? Do you remember?
I don't know. I didn't make it much further past that either. About maybe another half hour.
I'll have to go back and rewatch that because I missed that part. That's really interesting how she was here. She was saying it one way, but not hearing it the way she was saying it.
Exactly. She was more concerned about the "and" part than whether there was a S or not. But she would keep saying it with the S, and then she would say it once or twice without the S. And Noble was trying to get clarification. Probably was trying to do a search and decide if he should include the S or not.
Yeah. I notice in my speech there's a lot of things that I'll say that are Mandela affected that I don't even realize are Mandela affected that they'll bring up in chat, and then I'll say, "Huh? Wait, what? Since when?" Because we don't know all of the Mandela effects. We don't know. We know a lot of them, and a lot of the newer ones, but we don't, or at least I don't keep up with all of them. I can't. There's too many.
Well, I mean, yeah. There's always. I mean, It's always a weird feeling when you find a new one that resonates with you. Like
Yeah,
I heard that one they were talking about that same night, I think, about the Franco Colombo guy or whatever, the bodybuilder.
yeah. What was his name change?
Apparently, there was some type of change in his name, but it didn't resonate with me because it was. I think it was before my time. I don't even really remember him.
I
So
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, so I mean, I didn't really. I mean, it was, but when I have one that resonates with me, I get that weird feeling. Like it's like it happens all over again. You know, when it's something that you strongly feel that it was the other way.
Seems like I seem to remember Columbo, and if that is what it was changed to, then I'm sorry, but that's what I remember Columbo.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if Noble's still in chat, he can type what it was and what it changed to because I don't remember.
But that's what I say. Say the whole name again.
Frank, I thought it was whether it was Frank or Franco, but I might be wrong.
Franco Columbo.
Something like that.
Was he a
I'm
body?
really honestly not sure.
He was the Olympian bodybuilder, right?
Apparently so, yes.
Yeah, I kind of remember him, but I kind of also remember it being Columbo
All
because
right, I got one for you. Mary Lou Retton. I heard her doing
redneck.
a she was in the Olympics in 1984. How do you she spell her name, or how do you pronounce it?
I remember like retina, like retina.
Like the eye, like the eyeball, retina.
Yeah,
It was Retton. But I'm not sure how she spelled it. I would have to do a Google search.
but
But she was on a commercial the other day. I was like, I wonder if she's been affected as well.
huh. Now, what
I
do
mean,
you say it's supposed to be?
I'm doing a Google search on it now to
Oh,
see how
okay.
it's.
I
I'm
could have
sure
been wrong because I'm bad.
it's Mary Lou Retton, but it's
But
Retton, American gymnast.
Retin, Ret, Ret,
Retton.
right.
That's
I
easy. That's easy for you to say.
written. I remember like retina though. Why do I remember retina?
I have no idea. Maybe that's just your reality. I just remember she was very popular, but she won those gold medals. Apparently, she won the gold medal in the individual all around competition, as well as 2 silver medals and 2 bronze medals. She was one of the most popular athletes in the United States of America.
I remember that, but how I really, really, truly, and this is gonna make me sound stupid or whatever, but how I really remember her was remember the movie Scrooge with Bill Murray.
Yeah,
I remember they had her in that movie, and I clearly can remember him saying retina like an eye, like you said, like the eyeball.
hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
in that movie. I wish I had a clip of the movie. I could present it. But every time I try to present stuff, it all starts going weird on my computer because I don't want to say that word because it's not politically correct, but tech, you know what, and I don't really. I'm stupid about tech. Let me just put it that way.
Right?
But you know what word I'm talking about.
Yes. I believe so anyway.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know much about how to present stuff, which I need to learn because if we're going to be doing the show on a weekly basis or even 2 or 3 shows, I probably need to learn how to present and do.
Yeah, you probably need to get it set up in a way that you can.
Let me see if I can find that movie clip on my phone, and then I could play it through the speakers. Mary Lou. Let's see. No connection. Oh man, that sucks. You think? Oh, you can't do it because you don't have your. Hold on. Let's see here. Go to. Let me mute myself up so I can Google search it.
All right. Do 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 do.
What I got here is it says RETTON written.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, let me play this clip. I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter if we get a strike. But let me turn that down. That's garbage. It's just a commercial that I can't skip. Hate these. Okay.
It happened because it's Christmas Eve, I'm telling you. I'm not crazy. It's Christmas Eve. It's the one night of the year when we all act a little nicer. We smile a little
That
easier.
ain't it. Hold on.
We cheer a little.
Okay, so that's not it. I'm sorry, guys. But we can move past this, you know. I'm pretty sure he says it.
IBC presents live via satellite from New York.
Shoot.
Starring Buddy Hackett,
Here it comes.
Barr, the Solid Gold Dancers, and Mary Lou Retton as Tiny Tim.
Oh,
Hosted by Sir John Houseman. Scrooge.
do you hear it?
Say it. Do it one more time.
He does say written. He says it the way it is, so that's not. Here, I'll play it one more time. He says it written, but I could have swore. Well, here it is again.
IBC presents live via satellite from New York, Bethlehem, Helsinki, West Berlin, and the Great Barrier Reef. Charles Dickens' immortal Christmas classic, Scrooge, starring Buddy Hackett, Jamie Farr, the Solid Gold Dancers, and Mary Lou Retton as Tiny Tim.
Wind that
Huh.
more.
I didn't even know she was in the movie.
Yeah, here it is one more time.
And Mary Lou Retton as Tiny Tim. Hosted
One more time.
Mary Lou Retton as Tiny Tim. Host.
So they're saying it correctly. I mean, correctly is in what it is now. You could hear that, right?
Right.
So
But you know, like the new one that I just recently heard that kind of freaked me out a little bit was
Oh, yeah.
the the Brussels or Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, what are they Brussels or Brussels?
I always said Brussels.
You never said Brussels sprouts?
I never said Brussels. Brussels sounds like it would be more than one of them.
I know, but look, I mean, I just put an image in Shifty Sunday. They're called Brussels sprouts now.
Brussels?
Yeah,
As in a bunch of Brussels.
yeah, as in plural.
That's weird.
Like if Brussels had a bunch of sprouts, it would be his sprouts, so they're Brussels sprouts.
Let me see if I could share this. Brussels?
Yeah,
No.
I'm telling you.
My knee. Hold on. Okay, let me go screen share. Dum de dee, dum de doo. Screen share. Oh, I hope full screen. Start screen share. I hope it doesn't show any weird information. Present to everyone. And let's see here. Go to. Yeah, there's the image. Can you see that? Hello?
You talking to me?
Yeah, can you see it?
I'm going to YouTube now. I'm not on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see if my YouTube is showing it. Wow. Brussels. Brussels. No way. I'm hoping everyone can see this. Brussels. Let me enlarge the image here. Whoops. Whoops. Brussels. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I see it.
Look at that. And is that not weird?
Yeah, that's what they're called now. If you do a Google search, it'll come up Brussels.
Brussels. No, dude, I always called it Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
I need to go to I need to get those news pages. You know how they do the newspaper pages?
Right. I think you subscribe to that. You need to turn the volume down on your YouTube.
Oh, sorry, brother. Let me stop screen sharing. And we're back to this. Okay. Did I send it back? Stop screen sharing. Oops. Okay, yeah. I sent it back. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So everyone saw that then, the Brussels sprouts. There we go. That is odd, dude. I wonder if anyone has any comments about that. Hey, we got Jocko R in the house. You know, maybe I should do a new shout out. What do you think?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since we got new people in here.
No, I think don't do it.
Don't do it?
No, don't shout them out.
Oh, okay.
Of course. Now, how awkward would that be if the other person said no, don't do a shout out.
Right. We don't want to acknowledge our audience. You know,
never that.
No. No, but seriously, I'm going to do a shout out in the voice of Macho Man Randy Savage.
All right.
All right, so here we go. Okay, let me see here. We got God's Armor who just popped in. And then we got Honey Ann, Michelle's Opinions, and of course my wife is in here. We got F20. Noble SD is in there with a wrench. And SS, little S, big S, Jocko R. And that's what we got right now. Ooh, yeah. And hello, Armored Up. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Randy. It's good to be here.
Hey.
What's up, Sedgy?
Hello there. Now I'm all armored up.
Howdy, room. Well, I got some suggestions for you. First of all, the flip-flop disaster. If you take one of those flat plastic bread ties, you know what I mean? It comes on a loaf of bread, the flat plastic ones, not the twisties.
Yeah.
That'll fix your flip-flop right up.
All right.
Stick that on there and
A good life hack.
be good to go. Yep.
That should last until you walk along on it long enough to wear through that plastic, however long that is. Could be a while though.
Yeah. It's a good emergency fix till you can
Yeah,
get a new flip-flop.
for sure.
Flip.
And what else you got?
What else was he talking about there? I don't know anything
Brussels.
about them. Oh, yeah, the
What?
Brussels sprouts. That's crazy. Who ever heard of it? I agree 100%. It's Brussels sprouts, not Brussels. Never heard. I deliver produce even, so I ain't never in my life heard of Brussels sprouts. So that's a good catch. Good find, no doubt.
Yeah, when I heard that, it definitely struck me funny. I can't imagine why anybody would say it that way.
Yeah, like I said, I work around farmers. I deliver. Yeah. Ain't no one ever says Brussels sprouts. I go to
And
the
who
farmer.
and who who
Like, no.
who is Brussels anyway? That he has all these sprouts. I thought it was from a place, not a person. But I guess if it was from the place, they could still say it that way.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. Definitely never heard it said that way by anybody around me. So strange.
So, did you get your Wednesday word all ready to go? Shameless plug of opportunity.
Yeah, pretty much. Why I got the sermon part ready, and I just got to add in my stupid comments in the beginning and the end, and probably throw on a couple songs. Trying to do some, waiting to see which songs to put on. I think I know a couple that'll go good with it. So not quite done yet, but yeah, pretty much. Another half hour. It'll be
The
converting.
time, the part that took the most time is finished. Now it's just a matter of putting a bow on it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Adding my 2 cents worth and a couple songs.
I
It's
think
a
we
good
might have
one.
lost T-Bro. Either that or he
Yeah, I
just
don't
all of a
worry.
sudden
He
doesn't feel
muted
like
up.
talking.
He just
No,
gone, man.
I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
I'm just trying to let you guys get your words in. I'm not trying to step on anyone like I did last week.
Well, step away. It's your show. But yeah, you can fix your flip flop that way, Hebrew. Seriously. Flat bread tie.
Put it underneath.
Yeah, where your hole, where it's popping out of your hole underneath, you have that ball on the bottom. You know what I'm
Okay.
talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you stick it between that and the hole. You slide it in there like a bread tie. You slide it right under the ball, basically.
Cool. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That'll save me $2.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it ain't a permanent fix, but it'll get you through to till you can get a pair.
Yeah,
My
I
wife
get it.
taught. My wife learned that one. Grandkid, flip flop disasters, emergency situations. Bread tie. Good to go.
I tell you what, man, I'm gonna try that here pretty soon because, like I was telling, you heard the conversation about me not being able to wear the socks and shoes because I've done something weird to my toenail, and now the toenail's sticking into the skin and it don't feel too good.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, yes, I did catch that part. But I decided to join the show anyway. I was like, well, we definitely need some help.
they're bombing without me.
He knew we needed saving.
Said he's going solo in there. It's not good. Gotta help him out.
Need someone in here when I disappear or when I get that neutral zone around my head.
Neutral zone. The dead airspace, you mean?
Right. So what all's in your world, man? Well, not in your world, but what all's in the world?
What all's in the world? Evil. That's about it. That's what's in the world. About evil.
Hey, Saji, you got any more of those stories that you could tell that are like kind of like Bible stories, but Mark Twain puts kind of a spin, a twain on it, so to speak.
A twang, a twang.
Twain.
Gives it a own Twain.
I mean, I'm sure that I know how to look them up if that's what you mean. But no, I don't
I
have
thought
one
you
like
guys
just
had a.
laying
I
here
thought you
in
had a
front of me.
subject. I thought you had a subject you was going to stick to. Did you ever get to it?
No, we decided just to wing it.
Ah.
We're going to do another show tomorrow night. We're going to talk
Oh, yeah?
about Area 51 and moon landing stuff. We're going to go sci-fi.
What time is that show?
I don't know. We hadn't really decided. What were you thinking?
We're gonna go in probably if we're gonna do it at night. We're definitely gonna have to go in over the top of Dan. We don't want to.
Well, I thought we said we would do it either before or after.
Yeah, well, yeah, we could do it before, but I'm saying we have to either do it before or after.
I thought, yeah, because remember we said you don't really go that late on Mondays usually.
Nah, he don't go late on Mondays.
So let's just plan on doing it after, unless something changes.
Well, unless you're too tired to do it.
Nah, I'll probably rather do it after than before. That way we won't have the risk of running into the same time.
I do have a testimonial that I did want to share, but I didn't know. I didn't want to do that when God's armor wasn't here with me, so he could kind of.
Oh yeah, you did mention that. I can't wait to hear this.
But let me get.
But while you do that, I'll look up a story.
I need to get my light on. It's getting dark in here. Let me go ahead and get a light on real quick, and then I'll get after it. I'm putting myself on mute.
Oh, yeah. See, good thing I came along, peoples. Everybody left. What do you want to talk about, chat room? We got one looking up stories. One's got to mute up to turn on a light. You figure that one out. It's beyond my capability. So it's you and me, gang. What's
Yeah,
that?
it is a good thing you showed up. We are definitely like shooting from the hip tonight.
It was pretty good. Me and my wife were sitting there laughing. You're comical. You crack me up, Sadie.
That's what I try to be. I really do. I try to keep it fun and interesting.
It was. It's hilarious. You're awesome.
Did you hear the part where I said, "Why is she so boring"?
Yeah. He's like, what? No. What do you mean? He said she's a board. No, a board guy.
All right, so I'll just get right into this. Sorry about that. It took so long. I also poured myself some tea.
Ah, so light and tea.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, have at it. I'm muting up.
Okay, so this is not ever easy for me to explain, but it should be easy. But okay, so it's not easy for me to explain because I want people to know out there I'm not an emotional guy. This is not me that this happened to. That's not right. That it is me that it happened to, but it's all right. Well, let me just go right into it. Okay, so I'm at Walmart and I'm walking around, and I was shopping, and it was me and my wife was there, and we were shopping separate. because we got different things we had to get. And I had to get my stuff. She had to get hers. And we had totally different stuff to get. And she's a little bit, she runs through a little bit slower than I do because she's got a lot more stuff to get than I do. And I don't have that much stuff. And for some reason, I just went over to the deli. And I didn't want to go in there and like buy anything or have them slice me anything or anything like that. I was looking around for pre-sliced meats and stuff like that. It was already anyway. So I see this woman, and she had her child in her cart with her. She was smiling, laughing, playing with him and whatnot. But I did notice that the child had something wrong with him, and it wasn't. I don't know how to explain it. It was. How do I say this without the politically correct way to say it would be a mental disorder or a mentally challenged disorder, however you want to say it. But I wasn't paying attention to that or anything like that. But it just hit me like a bolt of lightning. And so, whatever reason, there's something that just hit me. And I felt like I had to go over there and I went up to her. I put my hand on her shoulder and I said, God loves you and God bless you. I said it in a soft tone, but I didn't say it light. I knew I said it loud enough for her to hear me, but I said it in a soft tone. And that's the one thing I left out when I told God's Armor this. I did say it in a soft tone. But then when I walked away, the minute I walked away, I felt this heaviness coming down upon me, this overwhelming urge just to cry. And I don't cry. I don't cry in public. I don't cry when I'm out hanging around the house. I just don't generally cry for no good reason at all. So I couldn't explain, and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop the tears from coming. They came, and I couldn't stop the feeling. And the only way I could describe it is it was both sadness and it was joyfulness all at the same time. I felt sad and happy all at the same time. I really cannot explain it any further than to just say that that's what the feeling was. And later when I spoke to God's Armor about it, we talked about it, and I had already figured out partly that it might have been the Holy Spirit talking through me, but I didn't want to come out and say that's what it was, because I've had false confirmations of this before. But as God Armor will explain to you, I hope he does, the Holy Spirit does kind of work that way, or he does work that way, I should say. But that's what it felt like to me. And when I told God's Armor about it, he felt like that's what it was to him. But I didn't want to. So I had tried to explain that to my wife. She asked me, well, what are you crying for? And I said, well, I can't tell you that right here and now. And what I explained to her was I felt the sadness and happiness of the woman. And that's what I thought I was feeling at the time. But I wasn't certain. What I didn't know, or what I didn't even think about, is maybe that was the father's love that he was feeling for that child. And as everybody knows, God loves children. He loves the children. And he loves the children more than anything that I could think. Well, I don't know. But he does love them very, very much so. I won't say more than anyone else, but I will say he does love them very much so. And I honestly, if you asked me right now, if I felt like that's what I felt that was the Father's love, I would say absolutely that's what I felt. But I couldn't say that then, because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was feeling. So I'll be quiet now, and I'll let God's Armor touch up on that and see if he's got more to say about it.
Yeah, basically when he was talking to me about it, I think it was last night, if I remember right, yesterday sometime. I said the easy way to tell if it was the real spirit, because like you said, you've had problems before when you thought it was the Holy Spirit. And I said it's easy to tell. First of all, you didn't go in there thinking about walking up to someone and telling them God loved them. This wasn't something you planned. It wasn't something you thought of at all. It was just something that came over you and you did it. Spontaneous. Boom, it happened. I said, so that right there is a good sign there's the Holy Spirit, because it took over. You didn't plan any of this. It just hit you and you did it. Another good sign is when you walked away, the emotions that overwhelmed you. Because normally for me, like I told him anyway, Father speaks to me more through that type of, like an empath type feeling, I guess, or whatever. I don't know, but emotions more than words or visions or anything else. And the love of the Father, when you feel it, always brings you to tears, at least in my case, when you're truly feeling it in the moment. So I just basically told him, according to what he told me, it definitely sounds like it was, the Holy Spirit. Wanted that woman to know that Father loved her and he loved the child. And it's like I told him, the sadness you felt was it, like I said, it could possibly be from the woman, what he was feeling. No doubt about that. He could be getting a little more empathic, because I think most of us in this community are empathic to some degree or the other, whether we know it or not. Some much more than others because they've used it more. But it could have been that. It could have been her feelings coming across. I said, but it was more than likely, since it was so overwhelming and brought you to tears without control, was the Father's love he was feeling and the sadness he was feeling, because Father feels sadness when he sees like a child like that, or something that the enemy has caused. That child wasn't supposed to be born that way in the Father's plan, basically. But thanks to the enemy and everything he's done in the world, and the way food and water, and I mean, it don't matter how it happened, it wasn't the plan. So Father was that's the sadness he felt, because Father knew what that child should have been, and seeing what that child was going to have to go through now, basically. Just my opinion on what happened. But to me, there was no doubt it was definitely the Spirit talking through you to remind the woman how much she's loved, and the child. Hey, we got E-Man and Cowboy in the house. I'm Preliminal. Awesome.
It was
Very,
definitely.
it
Oh,
was
sorry.
very. No, I was just gonna say it was a touching story.
Well, thank you. But it wasn't. I didn't. I mean, it was definitely foreign to me. These feelings I had. I've never experienced anything like that ever. Ever. I've never had. I mean, yeah, your first as a human being, when you see something like that, yeah, you're touched naturally just as a human being alone, and your first instinct is to feel sorry for her. But with that being said, you're not supposed to, because you know that they're well taken care of, and they're loved, and but you still have that as a human being. But I've never had an experience where I felt that sort of just uncontrollable emotions that I couldn't just shut them off. Usually, if I feel like crying or whatever, I could just pretty much shut it off. But there was no stopping it. It just overwhelmed. It overflooded me, and there was no stopping it. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it.
Yep, and that's the way the Father's love feels to me every time I mean, it's overwhelming. And Cowboy makes a good point. The Holy Spirit will never leave you feeling sadness. Absolutely not. You may feel, like you said, you felt a little sadness, but you felt the overwhelming love. You know, you always feel the overwhelming love that always overcomes the sadness or the pain or whatever it may be. So yeah, the Holy Spirit never leaves you feeling sadness. Never. It always ends up with you feeling love, which then, in my case, almost always brings me to tears when I feel the Father's real love. I don't know how we're going to survive when we're living in it. I really don't. It's like every time you feel it, it's just so overwhelming and beautiful and powerful. And so to be with it in eternity, wow, can't even imagine.
Yeah, I have to concur. I can think of a lot of times in my life where I almost lost hope or I almost lost faith. I don't know what the correct word is, but I was just starting to feel a sense of gloom, a sense of doom, a sense of there's no way I'm going to be able to get through this. And I mean, I've never, my whole life, I've always felt like I've had a guardian angel and I've had somebody looking out for me. I wasn't, super religious. I mean, I knew God was out there and I mean, I understood, the whole basic concept, but, I really didn't feel like, you know, I understood, like I really understood the big picture. But I just always, I mean, I just remember that no matter how bad I always thought it might be or could possibly get, somehow, some way, that 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 it works itself out. It eventually gets better. It doesn't come to the world doesn't end and all is not lost. Somehow, some way, there's a lesson in what you had to endure, but things get better. And or you're able to survive, you're able to get through it. You find a way, and sometimes it turns into a blessing after all when everything's ever said and done with. So I definitely, over time, and no, I guess life experience is what I'm kind of getting at, is you start to realize over time, that it's really a waste of time to sit there and spend a lot of time wringing your hands worrying about something that's to come when it's really out of your control anyway. And I mean, I know we kind of brought this up over and over again, but it is funny how when you're in the moment, sometimes you forget, you forget, you forget that, but then in retrospect, it's easier to see. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's an important lesson that we always forget. You know what I mean? The minute we can give it over is the minute it can start to be solved. Just like the situation I'm in. Nothing's changed. Everything's still the same. Been a few weeks now, but it's all right. I gave it over weeks ago. It's out of my hands. I'm not worried about it. Move on. You know what I mean? I know the Father got it, whether it's a month, a year, whatever. I know everything will be all right now, even though I have no clue how. So it's basically what it is. Either we got faith or you don't.
And I think
It's
a
that.
lot of times the reason like this, certain things like that happen, isn't because, like you said, God doesn't want someone to suffer, or the Father, or however you want to put it, but sometimes it's to expose a truth, to bring something to light, something bad that may have eventually gotten worse had this not occurred the way it had. Um, for example, I'll say, like, like when you're like, let's say you're driving home, the weather's really bad, you're really just trying to hurry up and get there, and you're approaching a light, and you're just hoping so bad that the light doesn't change red because you really just want to hurry up and get home. And no sooner than you're almost to the point where you think you can clear the intersection, it goes yellow and turns red. You're going to have to stop. At the moment, you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is so terrible that I have to stop at this light." But what may have happened instead, had you not caught that light, is around the next bend, you would have had a head-on collision, or something much worse would have happened. And and while you're sitting at that light, you see a car zoom past, and and that a drunk driver zoomed past you or something, that so you're able to, as bad as that situation seemed as it was nothing compared to what could have happened had you not seen the reality of the situation.
Yep, good analogy. And very true. That's why I say, no matter what you're going through, we still don't know the big picture. We don't know why anything happened. So we can either believe it happened for a good reason, because Father knows best, or not. It's that simple, no matter what it is.
Wow. I have no way to follow that up. You guys are on it with that one. I'm either going to have to change subjects, or because I have nothing. I just wanted to say that was really good.
All right, we'll change subjects. What do you got next?
I wanted to bring up, and I was going to save this for Thirsty Thursday, but I think everybody should see this, and I'm going to go ahead.
We already know about the barber saw, bro. We don't have to talk about that.
Oh no, I'm still talking. I'm going to talk about that one to the day I die. Barber saw is definitely a change for me. I don't care what anybody says. No, man. Oh boy, when that hit me, and then somebody said, "Oh well, there's only like 500, or there's only like 137 things that say it's that way." I'm like, "No, you got to
wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's the Barbasol one?
You didn't see the whole Barbasol saga?
He wrote like one of his first or most popular Mandela videos he made is he goes into his bathroom and he grabs a can of Barbasol and he's showing everybody his can of Barbasol like through a tour of his house, and he's talking about how it's changed for him, and he brings it up. I think he followed it up with a second video about, I don't know, 2 or 3 months later, and I think he even touched on it a third time. So I was just kind of razzing him about that.
But what's the change? What's it supposed to be? It's Barbasol, right?
Yeah, but it's. Hold on, let me go get the can.
That's what
you had to do it. You had to go there.
Well, I'm going to go get my can now too, because what's he talking about? Gee.
All right, so now I guess I'm left here on my own without a can of Barbasol. I guess it's technically my fault. I created the situation.
I just looked at mine. It says Barbasol. I'm all right.
That's what it was. I thought that it wasn't Barbasol. I always thought it was barber, as in the barber that cuts your beard. Barber, Barber, Saul, and not Barba Saul.
Oh, okay. And that's always Barbasol for me. So.
Ah, I see. And I even brought this up on Dan's show, and I actually showed Noble, and Noble looked it up in his little thing, and we had about an hour and a half discussion in Hangouts, and this has been about like 6 months ago. And every time, and I mean every time, me and Sagittariusly speaking are in Hangouts and we have a private discussion, he always has to bring it up.
I just like to give you a hard time about it.
But for me, just saying, my opinion, for me, shouldn't it not be Barber Saul? Because also
the other thing you mentioned in your video is that it's the design is the barber pole, right?
Right. And the other thing is there's another thing that they make, which is it's a that stuff that they clean the combs with. What's that called? Germicide?
I don't know.
Or germicide or something like that. But anyway, the name on that is spelled Barber, Asol. So it's from the same company. So why would then that be called Barb Saw product and this one just be Barb Saw? That was my whole argument. It Yes, admittedly it's kind of a weak argument, but still though. Whoever talks first wins.
I win.
Yeah, I couldn't get to my mute button.
Man. Oh boy, crickets, huh?
I was waiting for the next subject. We covered the barber saw.
Oh yeah, we covered enough of the barber saw, I guess. Uh-oh, sorry about that. No, I wanted to share something with you guys. It's not quite as deep as what I shared with you about the Holy Spirit. But no, I just wanted to show you guys. I'm going to turn my camera on now. Excuse the hair. But this is the Holy Bible that was sent to me. God's Armor got this for me to do my Thirsty Thursday show. Well, not just for the show, but obviously, but mostly for the show. And I wanted to show you, see how it has the index things where you could find your things in it. And then you got the bookmark there. And anyway, I wanted to thank him for getting that for me. I appreciate that, God's Armor. Thank you very much.
Open it up. Let me see the print.
Oh, well, let me open it up here.
Then I might have to get me one because I need a smaller one.
I'll just turn it to any random page. Let's see if I can do this without. See that?
Oh yeah, that's decent size print.
I know. I can actually read it. But no, I just wanted to thank you for that. So, yeah. Thank you.
My pleasure, brother.
It's going to help.
Everyone should have a Bible. Anyone needs a Bible, let me know.
Here's the one I was working with. You were asking me. Here's the one I was working with when I first started out. Show you that. That's what I had to work with. See I don't know if you can see that. But I'll show you the print in that. Look how small this is.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Yeah. So that one's definitely much better, and it's going to help me out through the Thirsty Thursday. So just wanted to bring that up. I was going to bring it up on Thirsty Thursday, but figure why not? While you're here and everyone else is here, bring it up now,
Yep, you're welcome, brother. Like I said, if anyone else needs the Bible, shoot me an email, hang out, whatever. Let me know.
So moving on to the next subject, I guess we were going to, you had your stories you were going to tell us, Saj?
Yeah, I did. I found one. It's a little bit longer than what I would like, but it kind of fits the theme we were discussing here just a few minutes ago, and it's possible that people may have already heard it. I think it's kind of a semi-popular story. I'm not sure. I think it's kind of a spin on a popular story. This is a better way to put it. But I'll read it if you guys want me to.
Lay it on us, brother.
All right. Let me get set up here. Get my glasses in position. All right. So our house was directly across the street from the entrance of a popular hospital in the city. And we lived downstairs and rented the upstairs rooms to outpatients at the clinic. One summer evening, I was fixing supper, and there was a knock at the door. I opened it to see a truly awful looking man. Why, he's hardly taller than my 8-year-old, I thought as I stared at the stooped, shriveled body. But the appalling thing was his face, lopsided from swelling, red and raw. Yet his voice was pleasant as he said, "Good evening. I've come to see if you've a room for just one night. I came for a treatment this morning from the Eastern Shore, and there's no bus till the morning." He told me he'd been hunting for a room since noon, but he had no success, as no one seemed to have a room. I guess it's my face. I know it looks terrible, but my doctor says with a few more treatments. For a moment I hesitated, but his next words convinced me. I could sleep in this rocking chair on the porch. My bus leaves early this morning. I told him we would find him a bed, but the rest on the porch. I went inside and finished getting supper. When we were ready, I asked the old man if he would join us. "No, thank you, I have plenty." And he held up a brown paper bag. When I finished the dishes, I went out on the porch and talked with him a few minutes. It didn't take a long time to see that this old man had an oversized heart crowded into that tiny body. He told me he fished for a living to support his daughter, her 5 children, and her husband, who was hopelessly crippled from a back injury. He didn't tell it by way of complaint. In fact, every other sentence was prefaced with a thanks to God for a blessing. He was grateful that no pain accompanied his disease, which was apparently a form of skin cancer. He thanked God for giving him the strength to keep going. At bedtime, we put a camp cot in the children's room for him. When I got up in the morning, the bed linens were neatly folded, and the little man was out on the porch. He refused breakfast, but just before he left for his bus, haltingly, as if asking a great favor, he said, "Could I please come back and stay the next time I have a treatment? Or the next time I have a treatment. I won't put you out a bit. I can sleep fine in a chair." He paused a moment and then added, "Your children made me feel at home. Grown-ups are bothered by my face, but children don't seem to mind." I told him he was welcome to come again. On the next trip, he arrived a little after 7 in the morning. As a gift, he brought a big fish and a quart of the largest oysters I had ever seen. He said he had shucked them that morning before he left so that they'd be nice and fresh. I knew his bus left at 4 a.m., and I wondered what time he had to get up in order to do this for us. In the years he came to stay overnight with us, there was never a time that he did not bring fish or oysters or vegetables from his garden. Other times we received packages in the mail, always by special delivery, fish and oysters packed in a box fresh of young spinach or kale, every leaf carefully washed. Knowing that he must walk 3 miles to mail these, and knowing how little money he had, made the gifts more precious. When I received these little remembrances, I often thought of a comment our next-door neighbor made after he left that first morning. "Did you keep that awful-looking man last night? I turned him away. You can set loose rumors by putting up such people." Maybe we did lose rumors once or twice, but oh, if they could have known him, perhaps their illness would have been easier to bear. I know our family will always be grateful to have known him from. We learned what it was to accept bad without complaint and good with gratitude. Recently, I was visiting a friend who has a greenhouse, and she showed me her flowers. We came to the most beautiful one of all, a golden chrysanthemum, bursting with blooms. But to my great surprise, it was growing in an old dented rusty bucket. I thought to myself, if this were my plant, I'd put it in the loveliest container I had. My friend changed my mind. "I ran short of pots," she explained, "and knowing how beautiful this one would be, I thought I wouldn't mind starting out in this old pail. It's just for a little while, till I can put it out in the garden." She must have wondered why I laughed so delightedly, but I was imagining such a scene in heaven. Here's an especially beautiful one. God might have said when he came to the soul of the sweet old fisherman, he won't mind starting out in this small body. And that's it.
Awesome. We're going to have to call that segment Story Time with Sag.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good old story. I never heard that one before. That's pretty good.
It gives you
It just-
perspective.
Yeah. Just so everybody knows, it's starting to thunder pretty good out here and the wind's kicking up. So if I disappear, probably what happened. So no
Yeah,
worries.
same here. I think it might be blowing over now. It was really bad about 10 minutes ago.
That's weird. We all have sort of storms rolling through each and other's areas. We
Yeah.
all
Yeah. Spread out as we are, we're all getting basically storms rolling through. Interesting.
what's mighty weird about that also is we haven't had too many storms here for, let's see, the last one was July 2nd. So yeah, it's been a while. I'm glad we're getting some rain finally.
We get lots of rain here. Although we haven't had probably the last week or so, it's been super hot, humid, not much rain. So we need rain, but we don't need a storm. We need some good steady rain for the crops.
Yeah, we had some storms last night. They knocked a few branches down off of my trees. I had the power go out once or twice. I was afraid it was going to do a repeat tonight, but it seems to. So for the moment, it seems to have blown over.
I'm just curious. We all say different prayers in our own unique, different ways and stuff like that. I'm wondering. I say a certain prayer I do over meals. It's never the same one twice, of course, because I heard from somebody that's never good. That God wants us to say different stuff because it's more meaningful. First of all, and second of all, you don't. Well, it's more meaningful. There is no second of all. But I was just curious. I guess my question is to both of you guys. We'll start with you, Sagittarically speaking. How do you pray when you pray over your meals? Like, what words do you incorporate mostly into your prayer?
Well, to be honest with you, 90% of the time, if not more, I'm by myself. So I don't really say a prayer out loud. I just kind of say it to myself, and I don't really, but when you're saying a prayer to yourself, you don't really have to use words. It's almost like I'm just acknowledging mentally the thank you. So I don't really have a way of saying telling you what words I put together.
Yeah, I'm basically the same way. I don't do it out loud. I figure each are responsible for praying for their own food. Now, if I'm having like a family or type dinner, especially up at my one friend's house, they always hold hands and pray, and so I'll do it either way. But personally, I just silently basically thank the Father for the food, thank him for the people that made it, ask him to bless it, whatever bad might be in it, get it out, because everything is bad anymore. So, but yeah, basically just ask him to bless it, let it nourish me, and thank the people that made it mostly, and thank him for letting me have it. Something like that. It's never the same, but that's basically what I would incorporate into it.
Okay. No, I was just always curious about that because before I started what I'm doing now, I used to say a prayer that was taught by the Catholic Church, and that was just a basic prayer. But the only problem with that is, and I've learned here recently, is you're saying the same thing over and over again. You're not really putting any meaningful thought behind it. It's just just a basic. I don't know how to say it. It's just the repetitive prayer, and I heard that was never good. That because it's not as meaningful if you don't put your own words, or not words, but like Sadji says, thoughts. You don't put your own thoughts behind it. So I'm trying to do that now more than I was doing before when I was just saying the Catholic prayer. So I'm trying a little bit more stuff here and there. And when I talk to the Father, now when you talk to the Father, I always, and I misunderstood this, what Jesus says when he says this is how you should pray, and then you pray to our Father. Now when are the times that you shall pray to our Father? Do you just pray it and not say any other prayers after it? Because I used to get confused and say, well, if that's how we should pray, then that must mean we should open with the our Father and then say our own personal touch to it. Now, what exactly does it mean that's how we should pray?
Well, I don't know how correct I am. I'm kind of, I mean, based on, what I should do and what I do actually do are probably not the same exact thing. I mean, to be honest with you, I rarely ever pray for myself, like very rarely. But when I know somebody else is going through something,
Oh no,
I often pray for them. And then as far as praying over a meal, I mean, I'd say 40, 50, 60% of the time, I mean, I go make myself a sandwich. I don't think to pray for it, but or to thank the Lord for it, I should say. But I do when when I'm really hungry and I get something to eat, and I'm like, oh, I'm so thankful to have it. That's when I remember to the most. That's when I'm saying literally right before I put it in my mouth, thank you so much. I really am so blessed to have this. Or if it's something that I know that I'm really going to enjoy, like if it's a meal that I've been looking forward to because it's something that I really like, or something that I'm so happy to have this, like, some barbecue spare ribs or a nice juicy steak, or, but if I go grab a bag of chips out of the cabinet, I don't think to give any type of thanks for that. I mean, I don't know if that's correct or wrong or somewhere in between, but that's the truth. That's how I really am.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. It ain't like I pray every time I stop in the truck and grab a donut or a sandwich, or you know what I mean. But usually at dinner time is when I'll remember. And the Father loves truth above all else. So exactly, no sense lying about it and trying to pretend you're something you're not. The Father knows anyway, and he's more thankful for that one truthful prayer than to try to remember a repetitious prayer every time you go to put something in your mouth. That's for sure. Because Jesus even said you shouldn't do vain repetitions and pray in front of others just to be seen and respected, and those aren't the right type of prayers. So yeah, just truthful, heartfelt talking, and we're also told that we don't even know how to pray. So the Spirit teaches us how to pray. So there's really no wrong way to pray if you're just talking to the Father like you would, like we are right now. It's a relationship. He likes us just as we are. He likes honesty. You know, just talk to him just like we're talking. That's how you pray. And I'm the same way with Sadji. I hardly ever pray for myself unless it's for more discernment or more knowledge of him, or you know what I mean, how to hear the Spirit better so I don't mess up when I'm talking in public like this. But as far as worldly needs, I never pray for any of that crap. Father got me covered. I know that. But we pray for each other. That's what we're supposed to be praying for each other. Father knows what we need. And if I'm praying for someone else, I got to have faith that they're praying for me. That's the way it works, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I didn't mean like I was praying for myself. I didn't mean it that way. I meant like Well, here's what I meant. I meant like I do pray to the Father and talk to Him like I'm talking to you, or like I'm talking to Saji right now. I'll say, "Hey, how's it going? Thank you for I first and foremost I thank Him for everything that I'm blessed with, and if there's someone that I know is going through a hard time or suffering in some way or form, I say, please watch over them and please take it in your hands to take care of this person or that person. But I was talking in generalization. When are we supposed to say the Our Father? Like, I mean, is there a particular time to say it, or is it just because Jesus says this is how you should pray? That's where I was getting at with that.
Well, again, in my opinion, Jesus told us not to do a repetitious prayer. That would include that one. Jesus wasn't telling them what to say when they prayed. In fact, he says, this is how you pray, not this is what you pray. There's a big difference in them two words. He was showing us how to pray, not what to say. You don't repeat the Our Father and think that's a prayer. I mean, I know a lot of people do, and sorry to burst your bubble, but that isn't what Jesus meant. That's how we pray. We remember our Father who is in heaven. We give him thanks. We praise him. Hallowed is his name. We want his kingdom, come, fill me with your spirit, bring your kingdom here on earth as it is in heaven. That type of thing. Forgive us, if I messed up today, forgive me, Father. Don't let me hold anything against anyone else. Take that out of my heart. Forgive me as I forgive those who, it's all in there, but you don't repeat the Lord's Prayer. That's how you pray. You incorporated, you remember the Father. You remember to hallow him. Without him, we'd be lost. Without the whole plan, without him and the Spirit and Jesus, it'd be over. So we hallow his name. We want his kingdom to come. We're supposed to be preaching his kingdom. So, let your kingdom come. Fill me with your spirit on earth, just like it is in heaven. Enable me to do what I got to do, that type of thing. So you never really repeat the Lord's Prayer. That's not at all what Jesus meant, in my opinion. It was an example. It's how we pray. It's what to remember as we pray, whether it's in that order or whatever order, or you pray half of it now and half of whatever. Just remember these are the important things to pray. Don't let the enemy lead me astray. Keep my feet on a narrow path. Lead me not into temptation. Don't let the enemy lead me. And then acknowledge at the end, because it's your power in the kingdom and glory forever anyway. So we got it covered. Amen. Done. So it's how you pray, not what you pray.
Oh, okay. No, that's interesting. I see. I'm learning stuff. I'm learning as I go. I don't. You know. So I was just wondering about that. I do say prayers like you were talking about, like we were talking about last night or the night before. We should never. Well, I don't want to say never. If this is something that people do, and I guess they do this. Um, but I don't think that I'm worthy. I should say it like that. I don't think that I should be praying for myself because that's selfishness to me, but to pray for my family. And I do that. I say, please, Father, put a hedge of protection around my family and my father-in-law and my wife and the people who need it. And especially if I think situation's getting grim out there, and I'll say, please put a hedge of protection during these storms. I need your help. I put everything in your hands to help my family. And but with that being said, I will ask, the one prayer I do ask for myself is I do ask the Father for his strength. Say, please, Father, give me the strength to do this or do that or to go on, and so that I can help others or whatever. But like you said, you can't be asking to help others, or we shouldn't try to help others. And not that we shouldn't try to help others, but I mean, we shouldn't, if we try to help others and it ain't working, then just you got to leave it alone and walk away. I understand that part of it, but I was just curious how everyone else prayed, and it's just I was thinking about it because, like I said, I'm new at this, and I'm trying to pull away from certain indoctrinations that I've been taught with my whole life, and I'm learning. Okay, that's all I'm doing right now is learning.
Yeah, and remember, Father always meets us wherever we're at. So there's nothing wrong starting out with basically doing the Lord's Prayer. Just how else are you going to get it into your heart so that you know what to pray for? Because, like I said, the Spirit's going to take our feeble attempt at prayer, because it says we don't even know how to pray. So it's going to take the mess we make of prayer and turn it into what it's supposed to be, because it knows our heart, and it's going to deliver it to the Father. So as you're starting out, there's nothing wrong with repeating the Lord's Prayer, but do it knowing that you're just trying to learn the important things to pray for. You know what I mean? Don't just get stuck in doing it for the rest of your life. I repeated the Lord's Prayer many times, still catch myself doing it. Sometimes just because sometimes it's good to do, you know what I mean? Because it's a reminder. But like I said, it's more personal. There is no wrong way to pray if you're coming with honesty and from your heart. That's all the Father cares about. That's why even in Job, at the end of Job, after all the stuff Job goes through and all the wonderful brothers and sisters that tried to help him by telling him what he is doing wrong or what was going on, after all, and Job saying all kind of things, like it starts out, oh, blessed is he who giveth and taketh away. And by the end, he's like, why don't you just kill me, God? I'm tired. What did I don't know what I did. Just kill me. Why don't you just kill me? You know what I mean? Job didn't say good things about the Father in the end, but he was truthful and he was coming from his heart because he didn't understand what was happening. And Father, even in the end of Job, says that all them friends said wrong things, but Job didn't say anything wrong. And when you think about that, Job said a lot of things wrong, but it was his truthfulness, his honesty, and his heart that made what he said not wrong. Although it was definitely wrong, it's not how the Father is, but he was honest. He was truthful. That's what the Father wants. More than anything, he'll meet you wherever you're at. Just come honestly, because you can't lie to him anyhow. So you might as well just come honest. If you're mad, admit you're mad. If you don't understand, admit you don't understand. That's how you pray. And that's how you talk to the Father, just with honesty.
I always found that story interesting. How he was kind of in the middle. He was kind of like a bet, and it was like God and Satan had an ongoing bet that Job would turn away from God and lose. Not what From what I gathered from it, and this is just my opinion. What I got from the story is that God was not trying to bet on whether or not he would turn away from him or lose faith in him or whatever, but he was trying to show Satan how Satan's power is not that of which he thought it was. Which he's like, well, look at this, I'll guarantee you. And the Father, of course, has it all in hand to where when Satan thought he was going to get one over on him, Satan's never got the upper hand. But I think God was trying to show him that he never has the upper hand, so to speak. I don't know. At least that's what I got from the story.
Yeah, I don't really know that much about it. Were you listening to Dan's show last night? Armor Up,
The what show?
Scarab Performance.
The one I was on?
Were you there last night?
Yeah.
I'm getting my nights mixed up. I thought you were there the night before. Maybe it was the night before. I don't know. Were you there when the lady called or the person called in, and they were talking about the story that about the devil being in the brook and the water coming up to their necks? It was about the when Abraham was going to sacrifice his son.
Oh, that's out of Jasher.
Yeah, that. They were making a comparison out of that, how that story in Jasher is kind of like how we see the Mandela effect now. They were making that, um, I don't know, metaphor, for
Oh
lack of
yeah,
a better word.
I remember that.
I just wanted to know. I was just curious what if you had a if you know I was when I heard that I was like, man, I wish I would like to ask God's armor or armor up about that. What your personal like how you if you agree with it, disagree, or how you see it.
Well, I could see how they would attach that to the Mandela effect, but sorry, I was eating a no bake cookie. But I mean, yeah, I could see how they would think it's like that, but it's more that story out of Jasher, as like they said, Abraham is on his way to sacrifice Isaac, and Ishmael and the one slave, I forget his name right now. I think it began with an E, was with him, and they came to that one point, and it was a rushing water, and they tried to cross, and all but was drowning. It was coming up to their neck, and Abraham realized, wait a minute, I know where we're at. There is no water here. This has got to be a trick of the enemy, which it was, as we knew because we was if you're reading Jesser, you know the enemy's doing this. And immediately it dried up, and because he's seen through the trick of the enemy. So I could see how that would relate to a Mandela effect type thing, I guess. I mean, but it more shows how the enemy can't trick you if you're a true follower. You know what I mean? It was more to show that all you got to do, once you realize it's a lie of the enemy, it's over. As soon as Abraham realized, wait a minute, this is a lie. This ain't real. This can't be here. This was never here. So it's got to be a lie of the enemy. Poof, it was gone. So I got more of that out of it when I read it in Jasher a while back, years ago. But
I had never read it before or heard that particular part or heard that, and when I heard it, I mean, I get what they were saying too about it being kind of like, but to me, it really is more about just finding, having, being able to stay steadfast in what you know is true. And what I'm trying to say is kind of like just like there's so many different ways that life tries to deceive you besides the Mandela effect, and there's so many I don't know, everything from when you're going out to buy a car and you're dealing with a shifty salesman to you're just trying to figure out the if the people, if a woman you're dating is the right one for you, or if maybe you should just break it off and move on to somebody else. I mean, there's so many times in life when you feel like you're at you're dealing with some type of deception, so to speak, and I think that's more of a case of of staying staying in finding the truth in deception is kind of like the way that I interpreted that. And the best way to do it is to remember what you know is true. Stick with your gut. Believe in, have faith in what you know is real versus what seems to be real. And that was my takeaway.
right, it basically shows what, and like I said, this is how I could say it would tie into the Mandela effect, because it basically shows the devil was trying to use illusion, was trying to make them think something was there that it wasn't, which is sort of what is going on in the Mandela effect. They want us to think this is the way it was when we know it wasn't. So I can see how they tie the two together.
Yeah, and that I guess you would tie it to that if that's the way you see the Mandela effect. But I honestly see the Mandela effect differently than that. I see it as more of a way of bringing. It's more of like I see it kind of as like a flashing red light, like a warning, like hey, reality isn't what you think it is. Warning, warning. Start paying more attention to reality. That's the message I get from the Mandela effect. Not so much that it isn't what I thought it was, or that I've been deceived, but that the message is it can be changed. Start paying attention to the changes.
Yeah, I agree. And I've always said, no matter whether it's the enemy doing it, the father, whatever's causing it, I think it's meant as a message, as a warning, as a wake up call, whatever you want to call it. I definitely agree. I think it's meant for those of us that see it to realize, hey, things ain't what we see. Something definitely is in charge that we might not have thought was in charge if we necessarily didn't believe in spiritual stuff before this. And it's, yeah, basically a warning, a wake up call. Couldn't agree more. I've always thought that.
Crickets. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know. That really caught my attention last night. I shouldn't say it caught my attention. It just got me thinking on a deeper level. That's all. For me, that was kind of like the highlight of the show, the part that really got me thinking the most.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. Cool thoughts. By the way, the Hebrew show, Shifty Sunday, is brought to you by Hebrews jalapeno peppers. If they're not Hebrews, they're not jalapeno peppers.
Oh,
That's
that's awesome.
That's our
Do
only
we get like
official.
free product?
Sure, but they'll have to be shipped to you green. Okay, enough of that. That's our only sponsor, and it's me sponsoring. So
So, Hebrew, tell us about your garden. What's good with Hebrew's garden?
well, first of all, there are no GMOs in it whatsoever. Um, have you seen any of my garden videos?
Yeah, I've seen a couple here and there. I've seen at least two, maybe three.
All right. Well, then you know the deal. You know, what it's about. I got some tomatoes, cucumbers, some hybrid peppers, jalapenos, habaneros, chilies. You know what's weird about these chili peppers I'm growing, and I've never, oh, not chili peppers, but the cayenne peppers I'm growing, they're not turning red. It seems like they're turning this yellowish color, and then all of a sudden that's their final stage. Like usually when you raise cayenne peppers, they turn red, right?
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about that. I know that the color can also change based on the environment, but I don't know if that applies to jalapeno peppers or not. Like how much moisture, how much, I don't know, nitrates are in the soil. I mean, there's so many different things that can affect a crop that it's hard to say what it could be. But you're saying you're getting a unique color this particular time for whatever reason, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they're supposed to go, okay, they start out green. They start out growing green, right? And then they change to a yellow color, but then they're supposed to skip from a yellow to an orangish type color to full on red. And for some reason, whatever, maybe we had too much rain earlier on in the season. Now we're not getting enough rain for whatever reason. And I'm just saying, I don't know the reason. They're just turning yellow, and then once they're reaching their yellow state, they're just kind of rotting. So I have to pick them as they're yellow.
All right. Well, how do they taste?
Hot.
I mean, there's no difference in the flavor.
No, not really. I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, if you're raising hot peppers and you plan on eating hot peppers at every meal, have something. How can I put this delicately as possible? Have something cool in the bathroom with you.
I wouldn't make that mistake. I've done learned that lesson.
That's as delicate as I can put it. Just be careful. Don't eat too many days is what I'm saying. Because
Yeah, like for instance, last night I made a pizza and I put jalapenos and onions on it. And I made a point this morning that when I woke up and got myself something to eat, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It had no spice to it whatsoever because you can't do spice and follow it up with more spice. At least I can anyway.
Yeah, I love peppers on my pizza. Love it.
but I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, like, I've been eating a heck of a lot of hot peppers, and I like hot peppers. Don't get me wrong. And oh man, I can eat them left and right. But apparently, the rest of my body does not like them. So just as a warning to everybody out there, just do it out of moderation, please, because the moment you think that you've had too many hot peppers is the moment where you get up and then you realize you can't sit down for an hour after you've gone to the bathroom. Just saying, just putting that out there.
Right? Apparently, peppers are good for detoxing too, like cleansing your system. Like, drink lots of water when you eat those peppers.
If I want to detox my system, I drink coffee. Coffee, not detox, but what you said. What did you say?
Detox, not decaf.
Right. You hear that?
What is it?
It's my ear. I'm getting to an ear doctor in September. I think what I have is I have fluid built up in that ear. And by the way, God's Armor, I tried that hydroperoxide thing, and I started to put it in my ear. I haven't tried it, is what I'm trying to say. I haven't tried it yet because I looked at my bottle, and the hydroperoxide I have is from 2001. So I may not want to use that one. I may want to go and purchase a new bottle if I'm gonna do that cleansing in my ear.
Yeah, it might not hurt. I don't think it goes bad though. I don't know. Hard to tell, but it'll
18
definitely
years might be pushing it a little bit, I guess.
yeah. I don't know what the shelf life is on hydrogen peroxide. When our resident Mandela nurse isn't in the house, or we'd ask her. But hey, it ain't that much. Spend 99 cents at the dollar store, get a new bottle, dump it in.
Right? I need to do something because I don't think that when you go to scratch your ear, it's supposed to squeak like that, is it?
No, you don't have a dog, do you? He might start attacking your ear thinking it's a squeak toy.
My dog's looking funny at you.
I like it. I like it when dogs, when you make a certain noise or if you call their name a certain way, they turn their head sideways.
And their ears perk up a little bit.
Yeah. Hey,
That's the other thing I think might have been Mandela affected. I meant to bring that up on a previous show and I forgot. I think the RCA dog has changed.
Really?
You guys remember the RCA dog?
Yeah, I think Dan might have talked about that quite a while ago. I remember somebody did, but yeah, I agree. It changed.
I can't quite put my finger on exactly what's different, but it just don't look right.
Well, I think I'm trying to remember it a while ago when I heard about it, but I'm getting an echo. But I think now it's either, I think it's looking at the thing now, and before it was sort of listening to it, sort of with its head cocked a little bit. If I'm remembering right, there's definitely something changed about it. I had to look at the logo.
When I looked at the logo, it seemed like its head was straight on. Uh, is that? I mean, but is that the change that it's straight on now, or its head is cocked now?
Well, that's how I remember it. Was his head was cocked and turned, but it was still kind of like facing the picture. But now he's literally staring down into the straight ahead, facing straight down into the
Photograph?
speakerphone or whatever that thing is
Photograph?
on the phonograph player. Yeah, and that just don't look right. I mean, that's not how I remember it.
Actually, now that you mentioned it, I had this RCA camcorder a long time ago. It was probably one of the first camcorders I ever owned, and I looked at the logo on it. And I seem to remember looking at that logo quite often. It seemed like he had his head cocked at a 45-degree angle. Seems like almost.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's looking straight down it. And he should be, like you said, I remember him with his head cocked more at like a 45-degree angle looking towards the front. And
Yeah,
if
and
you,
that's and
I was just,
people recreate it. They recreate it that way.
yeah, I
I
was
guess.
just about to say that. I just looked at pictures in Google, and every one that's a reproduction or a recreation of that theme got the head turned sideways looking out. So that's interesting.
That seems more plausible. Hold on, I've got an RCA thing around here somewhere. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to try to find it real quick instead of Googling it. If it's
Can you
something,
can you set him to present so he can show the image?
sent who to present? Oh,
Uh,
he's got an image right now.
well, I think so. Did you
Oh,
bring one
okay.
up, God's armor? Can you share one?
Yeah, I can probably bring one up. Hold on.
But I definitely don't remember him looking straight down the speaker. And when he does, I mean, he does kind of have like in a vintage RCA the image I'm looking at. His head is slightly tilted. I mean, ever so slightly, looking straight down it. But I don't remember him. I remember the dog facing the camera more than he was putting his nose down in the tube. That's the part that really kind of throws me off. Like the dog wouldn't do that anyway because he can hear just fine. He would be lifting the ear that's facing it toward it more than he would be sticking his nose down in it. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got pictures up. I think you can see them.
Oh wow. Can everybody see that? Yeah, that is that one up there in the top left. Is that one that's been like? It kind of looks like it's tilted slightly, but is that one that's been redone?
All right, I got to unmute, so I can't do both. But yeah, this black and white one right here would be an original. But see, yeah, his head's still cocked, but he's looking in it. He should be looking at us with that cocked up ear facing it.
Yeah,
And if you look at
exactly.
every reproduction, like this one here on the right, my mouse is moving around. See how they reproduced it with his ear sticking in it, not his face?
Oh yeah.
And every reproduction, let me find another one. Right here's another one with the little puppy. but his head's sideways, his ears pointing at it, not his face.
Hmm.
That's the way I remember it.
Sure. Yeah, right there at the. Yeah.
Yeah, now he's looking down the thing, which makes no sense. It's about sound, not smell or sight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His ear was
So-
cocked to the
There's no treat down in there that he has to fish out, you know?
right. So yeah, I agree. That one's a change for me. It should be like this reproduction right here. That's what it should look like. But his
Exactly.
ear sideways. And you can tell that's even a very old reproduction. That's an old iron wind-up, it looks like. So that's pretty
Well,
good residue, actually.
I think Hebrew fell out.
Uh-oh.
Just me and you.
All right, well, I'm going to quit presenting. We get the gist, but
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely a change. I've been meaning to bring it up. I just keep forgetting to. When we were talking about dogs, it reminded me. Am I the only one left?
No, I'm still here. I'm trying to
Okay.
figure out how to quit screen sharing at the moment.
Let's see, let me go to YouTube.
I must be locked in presenting to everyone because he left. I don't know. I can't figure out how to stop. So,
I don't. It's just your icon on
well, yeah,
YouTube.
but it ain't changing to you when you talk. I'm still presenting to everyone. Oh, it is my icon now.
Yeah. I think he has to change it when he. I guess he'll be back in.
Whoops. Can anybody hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, guys. I was closing all my windows and I closed too many windows.
It happens. Well, I think we got 12 watching. You guys want to give out another shout out real quick? See who's in there, what they're talking about?
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to get this link Eddie sent. I want to take a look at this picture.
Ah.
All right, I can do it. We got The Truth Will Set You Free, Eddie Von King, Zeb Johnson, Jenna Purr. She says she's sorry she's so late. And Truth Will Set You Free is going to bed. Good night. Truth Will Set You Free. And that's it.
Awesome. Great shout out. Why am I not showing?
Yeah, you need to take him off of present.
Hey, you got me stuck on presenting to everyone.
Oh, I thought I had that. Stop presenting. There we go. Okay.
There you go.
Well, that was a pretty good shout out, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Were you going to show something, Hebrew?
That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get all them other windows closed out. But if God's Armor got something from Eddie Von King that he wants to present, then we can do that.
It was just like basically the pictures like I just showed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. It was a black and white sort of. But even those ones, he was looking straight down the darn thing, which, yeah, that's weird.
So, that is weird. Do we have any announcements we want to make real quick?
Tomorrow night we're going to do a show. We're going to talk about we're going to go in depth about the moon landing. Not so much about whether everybody always talks about was it faked or not faked. That's not really going to be my focal point on the stuff that I'm going to be presenting about it. It's going to be more about the reasons, the reason it was important for us to do it in the first place, why the motivation they would have had to fake it if it was faked, and some of the backstory behind behind the scenes, kind of like so some of the narratives that they came up with, and also the Masonic ties and the whole how NASA kind of was started off by um, German Nazi scientists is pretty much the founders of NASA. And I just want to make sure that we kind of have an in-depth look as to what NASA really is and why it was such why it was such a big deal in the first place. Not, I mean, yeah, it's a big deal that we're going to the moon, but there was a lot going on in our culture at that time. And I think the morale was kind of down for the country. We were just kind of ending the Vietnam War. We had a lot of we had some stuff going on with Nixon. We had that whole Charles Manson thing had just happened. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, and there's some stuff I want to bring up, and then also I thought we might talk about shoot. Now I forget what the other thing is. We were going to talk about.
I think we were going to talk about the people that are storming Area 51.
Yeah, the Area 51. I have some memes. The internet has went crazy with the memes about Area 51. So I was hoping that we could maybe present some of these memes, get a kick out of them, and talk about how people think they're going to show up at Area 51 to an alien petting zoo, and it's really so not the case.
I actually agree with Preliminal on that one, but we're not going to get into, like you said, we're not going to discuss whether it's fake or not fake or whatnot have you, because that's a whole different ball game.
We're gonna it's going to be addressed. The fact that
Sure.
that that's an issue in itself is an issue, but I'm not going to try to prove whether it was or it wasn't, because I mean, people, the conscious based reality is where I'm at with that. It's what you believe it is.
Yeah. The also one of the things I would like to talk about when we do get into it is how the Russians were not literally, but sort of at war with the U.S. What was going on? It was sort of, we were in the midst. Can I say, the Cold War, and how we were in the race to go to the moon, basically. Because if I'm not mistaken, did Russia not already have someone in outer space? Did they send someone to
So
space?
it was a race. We were trying to get there and plant our flag before they planted their flag, and they never got there. They never actually landed anyone on the moon. Now, based depending on which reality you're from, we only went that one time in my reality, but apparently we've landed on the moon more than once in this current reality. I'm not really sure on exactly how many times and who all went, but I only remember it being Neil Armstrong and Buzz and I can't remember the third guy's name.
I always try to call him Buzz Lightyear for some reason. I always.
It's Buzz Aldrin,
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong, and there's a third guy. I can never remember his name.
Stan Gutch. No, it wasn't Stan Gutchman.
Yeah, Shepherd, something Shepherd.
Yeah, but I always, when I'm saying Buzz Aldrin, sometimes I'll make the mistake and say Buzz Lightyear, and that's so silly. I don't know why I do that. It's associated.
It's probably because you watched that movie and as a child, and it's how you remember the term Buzz.
Well, I wouldn't have watched it as a child.
Oh yeah, John Glenn, that was his name.
John
Shepherd,
Glenn.
Yeah.
How can I forget him? He's from Ohio. I mean, they're all kind of from Ohio. And did you guys know that Neil Armstrong grew up in Ohio? I can't remember the name of the town, but he grew up in a heavily Germanian village where everybody speaks both German and English. And the town, like if you go to his hometown that he grew up in, it's literally like all the shops and the in the village. It looks like a German village. The downtown of where he grew up. It's got real heavy Masonic ties and real heavy German ties, and that's the guy that was the head of this Rudolph guy that was the head of the rocket program for NASA was a German, was a Nazi in Germany that was responsible for designing the V2 rockets in Britain, and more people actually died making these V2 rockets um, for the war than were ever killed by a V2 rocket in the war because they were using the peasants of Britain that they like had captured, and they were working under inhumane conditions. They were being shot if as soon as they got sick or weak. Um, as an example, to make the other workers keep laboring harder, blah blah blah. But he became he self-admittedly is this guy that did this, creating this V2 rocket technology that was used by Germany in the war and was a very big, important, decisive weapon in World War II. And then they recruited him for NASA, and it was him that made a point to say that Neil Armstrong had to be the first guy to get off of the lander when it landed because he wanted it to be a German person to be the first person to touch the moon. In theory, assuming that we really did, or at least that the perception was that it was a German person that first did it, if you're going with the fake narrative.
You sound like you got all your. Oh, sorry, God's Armor. Go ahead. You want to say something, brother?
Yeah, I was going to say it all ties to Project Paperclip. You ain't never heard of that? No.
I'm definitely up on my Project Paperclip info. Yeah, I mean, we could even talk about. Anyway, I got a lot I want to talk about, and that's our teaser for tomorrow night's show.
Man, you sound like you got all your shit together. I better quit being lazy and do some research of my own if I want to keep up with you.
Well, half the fun is presenting it to you and then hearing your reaction, since I can't really hear the chat room's reaction.
Unless we invite everyone from the chat room into our show, and then what fun would that be?
Well, I'm sure some of it would be fun, but others not so much.
We could pull a Andy Kaufman and just invite everyone. Just come on in, guys. Come on, you get free milk and cookies. Come on into our live stream. Everyone gets a chance to talk.
But Armor, you're more than welcome to join us. I would, of course, I would love for you to be there if you're. I know you work and you got other commitments, but if you're able to show up, you're more than welcome to join us.
Yeah, Monday nights is when I go out for usually a 16 to 20 hour drive. So Monday nights is out for me.
So are we absolutely set on the time? Are we going to go on after Mandela Monday or before?
I would rather wait till after. That way we don't accidentally run over and end up stepping on Dan's show. Because plus, if if he's going to have call in, one or the other of us can call in and let everybody know to come listen afterwards.
He doesn't have call-ins on Mondays, but
we can still mention it in the chat room, though.
Sure. That sounds really good. And like you said, we don't want to run over and get into where he's having his show. Now, are we set on the name? Can I tell everybody what your idea for the name was? I think it's pretty cool myself.
No, don't tell him. Yeah, go ahead.
Was it? Let's see here. Let's see if I'm Mania. No, not Monday.
Nope, it wasn't Mandela Monday. It wasn't. It wasn't Manic Monday.
Manic Monday. That would have been okay.
Yeah, that would have been okay. And it definitely wasn't Taco Tuesday because it's on a Monday.
Was it Madness? What would you call it again? I'll let you do it.
Monday Madness.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that name, man. Monday Madness. So come on over to Monday Madness at right after Scare Performance's Mandela Monday show. Everybody.
But Taco Tuesday is definitely a close second.
I would love to do a Taco Tuesday show, and we could do a play on words. It could be talk, TALK, talk O. We could talk O Tuesday. Get it?
There you go.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey, Eddie said you should call it Macho Monday Madness for your Randy Macho voice.
Well, that's a good idea too. I like that idea. What does Macho Man think about that, Hebrew?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, that's it's a pretty good idea right there. Yeah. Crickets.
Well, I thought you were going to go on more about it, like how much honored you would be, since you really haven't had much fame in years since your WWE career ended, and you know.
You should announce the beginning of every show, out of retirement for Macho Monday Madness. Oh yeah.
Out of retirement, out of the grave.
Retirement, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I should probably, when I come in the show, I'll talk just like this throughout the whole show too. No, I don't want to do that. I'll end up rupturing my vocal cords or something.
Yeah, I'd say just the intro. That would be good. Instead of
And we
your,
don't want to
hey,
overdo it. We'll just salt and pepper them a little bit here and there.
We got to have commercials for that one too. Just saying. Should I? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, the Hebrew channel is sponsored to you by Generic Chocolate Milk Brand. Generic Chocolate Milk Brand. It's okay.
That was kind of generic.
Do you have any sponsors that you want to mention?
No, not at this time. I'm working on some. I'll let you know when they finalize the deal.
Okay. Sounds good. So, do we have anything else to talk about?
I think this would be a good time to start wrapping it up. I haven't had my phone plugged in. I'm getting kind of low on my charge. I need to find an outlet sooner rather than later.
yeah, I'd say we've been going a while.
Okay, we don't want this to turn into another 4-hour marathon, huh?
Nope.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. I'd like to thank God's Armor for joining us on this panel. And of course, as always, I'd like to thank Sagittarically Speaking, who has Sagittarically spoken very well tonight.
Well, why, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Yeah, it's been a good show. I'm glad you were able to make it, Armor. I'm glad you're able to get your Wednesday word done. I will try my best to be there for it this week. I made it the week before last, I think, but I missed it this last one.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the finishing touches on it after we go off the air. So
Yeah, I came in kind of late last week, so I'll try to get in there as soon as it comes up. But I was doing some work and stuff like that, but yeah, I came in kind of late. But I did like, man, I love that show. Okay, so I'll let you get to it. I won't delay any longer. So from everyone here at the Hebrew channel, thanks everybody for watching once again, and we will see you hopefully we'll see all of you tomorrow night. And of course, as always, we'll see you on another Shifty Sunday. Good night and God bless everyone. Hope that didn't sound too much like Tiny Tim. Okay. Good night, everybody.